Hey everyone, welcome back to the OG Spice Guy Show, where we dig into the real stories behind the world's boldest flavors, from the fields where they're grown to the businesses that bring them to your table. If you're passionate about food, family, and building something that lasts, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Jonathan Raju, and I'm the OG Spice Guy. Today, we're diving into a question I get asked all the time. How does a food become a trend? And since it's fall, there's one trend that we cannot ignore. That's pumpkin spice. Love it or roll your eyes at it, pumpkin spice has become more than just a flavor. It's been a cultural phenomenon for over 20 years. Today, we'll explore how this blend of simple spices became a billion-dollar trend, what's actually in it, and what we can learn about food trends as entrepreneurs, chefs, and food lovers. So grab your latte, pumpkin spice or not, and let's get into it. Everybody's playing the intro music in their head right now.
Dude, that was such an eloquent intro.
Was it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You've gotten really good at that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're evolving as a performer, as I would say.
Yeah.
So we're talking pumpkin spice.
We're talking pumpkin spice. So by the time this airs, it'll be October. Mm-hmm. Are you drinking a beer?
They brought me in Howling Gourd's Pumpkin Ale.
Okay.
And at first, when I tasted it, it tasted like a pumpkin. And I was like, I don't know. I'm into it now.
And now you're into it. Once the alcohol starts to hit.
Once it hits a couple, I'm a little bit open.
So last week I was in Washington, D.C.
Yes, my hometown, so to speak.
Yeah. It was a great time. Perfect weather. It had been a while since I'd been back in D.C., so walking around, driving around. I was getting a lot of people coming up to me and saying, "Excuse me, has anybody ever told you, but you look just like Kash Patel?" Like 5 people, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you're an Indian dude with a beard.
I had the beard first. And he wears glasses. And he needs to. He's got a lazy eye. I don't have a lazy eye. My eyes are perfectly straight.
If you could do a lazy eye, you could make a lot of money being a Kash Patel impersonator.
Should I go down
right
to
now.
Hollywood and Highland?
Yes.
Take advantage. It's my moment.
Let's start making videos right now. When we're done filming this podcast, I'm going to put you in a suit.
Yeah.
And we'll set this up to look like the Senate hearings.
A Senate hearing, and are you going to grill me?
And we'll hire Max to be one of the guys that you can yell at back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was thinking for Halloween, was that I'd put on a suit, red tie, U.S. flag pin. The funny thing is my wife, she gets Joanna Gaines a lot. You know that lady from the HGTV show? What's the name of the show?
Flip This Something?
Yes, she does one of those house flip shows.
Okay.
So I was like, well, you could be Joanna Gaines and I'll be Kash Patel for Halloween. Let me do my best. This will be my best Kash Patel. Okay, so that's my best Kash Patel. So I predict that one day people are going to go up to Kash Patel and say, "Excuse me, has anybody ever told you that you look just like the OG Spice Guy?"
Yes. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Manifest it.
Yes, I'm manifesting it right here. Okay, so when you think of pumpkin spice, chances are you think of the
Pumpkin Spice Latte.
Or as our social media ladies told me, the PSL.
Yeah, we were doing a little pre-production meeting and just thinking about what we were going to talk about. And Noelle was like, PSL.
So Pumpkin Spice Latte started way, way back in 2003. It was Starbucks introduced the PSL as a seasonal special. It was just one of the many drinks that were being tested at the time. And they actually first taste tested it by pouring in their lab shots of espresso over pumpkin pie. So you'd pick up a little bit of the pumpkin flavor, and then they were making their espressos, adding in the milk and all that good stuff. It was a big swing. Nobody was doing it at the time, but something clicked. And I think it was because the PSL didn't just taste good. It really became a signal of the season, right?
Yes.
So that first sip meant fall is here. It's time to break out the sweaters, football, Thanksgiving, cozy nights by the fire, right? And so I think for a lot of us, especially, living in Southern California, we really don't have that hard demarcation of the seasons.
Yeah, but
right. But hey, you start sipping on a PSL,
means the Dodgers are in the playoffs.
Yes, it's October baseball.
The problem is that it starts so early now, right? So it has to get out ahead of everything. So those things were rolling off what? End of August?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still hot.
It's
still got the
hot.
AC on.
And I don't know about everybody else in the country, right? But our summer ends October 1st.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's hot until October.
Yeah.
If not further. So it's okay. Yeah. So even with the hot, we have pumpkin spice lattes and we enjoy them and we think of the warm, nice
You think of the season. So, we'll get into that a little bit more about but that's part of the the virality of this trend is the emotion that's tied to it. So,
yeah.
So you fast forward 20 years and pumpkin spice is everywhere. I've seen it in cereal, candles. You're drinking a beer.
Yep.
I even saw dog treats.
That's awesome.
What have you seen?
Pumpkin spice Samoas at Trader Joe's, which are a hearty thing. I've seen a lot of people have been bringing some pumpkin bread to meetings and stuff, and that typical, cake in front of you is I'm gonna fight.
Protein bar. We have Bear Bells protein bar. Bear Bells, if you're listening to this, I want to talk to you about doing an organic version. I think I can help you guys out. So shout out Bear Bells. Hand cream. So,
really?
Somebody put that in our group chat. Pumpkin spice hand cream.
That's a turn off for me.
My dog would probably love it.
I bet there's toothpaste, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it went from a pumpkin pie spice blend that, your grandmother used to make her pumpkin pies.
Yep.
To a global phenomenon. So it raises the big question, why this flavor and what does it tell us about how food trends are made? You're probably asking, what is pumpkin spice?
It's made up of a few things.
It's
a blend.
But do you know what is not in pumpkin spice?
Pumpkin.
There is no pumpkin in pumpkin spice because it is the spice that is used to spice the pumpkin puree. So pumpkin pie spice is a blend of cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, and sometimes allspice. Each one of these spices has its own story. So cinnamon, often from Sri Lanka, is sweet and warming. Nutmeg, which is native to Indonesia. Did you know that they actually had wars over nutmeg because it was so valuable?
Really?
Yeah. Ginger, which is widely grown in India, brings the heat and balance. Cloves, also from Indonesia, are powerful, aromatic, lots of camphor. Of course, allspice from Mexico. It kind of tastes like a mix of cinnamon and cloves all in one berry, hence the name allspice. These were mixed together and have that perfect combination when paired with pumpkin, and that's how you make a pumpkin pie traditionally. But this blend was used for a century before the PSL. But exclusively in pumpkin pie. And interestingly enough, if you add a few savory spices like cumin, you get a traditional Indian blend that is garam masala. So that's what's used in a lot of Indian curries and cooking. So
really?
You can take something that's more known for its sweeter component and transition it with just the addition of a few spices.
Well, that's probably what the Trader Joe's Samoa thing tastes like, right? Because it's in the Indian section and they have
you're saying samosa.
That's what I'm saying.
Samosas.
Samoa is the big dude down in the
that's the what's the movie?
Moana.
That's right. A Samoan.
I know.
A Samoa is the Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, that's
and then
what
a samosa is the Indian.
Thank you.
Indian.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's fantastic.
But do you know a pumpkin Samoa then? the Girl Scouts right here and now, pumpkin spice latte Samoa.
Oh, Girl Scouts should do a pumpkin spice cookie.
Dude, where have you been for the last 5 seconds? I just said that. I just said a pumpkin spice latte Samoa from the Girl Scouts.
Okay.
How do we jump on that?
I was hung up on the fact that you were calling a samosa a Samoa.
So the samosas at Trader Joe's are next to the chicken,
you're right.
the masala
I did see
ones.
this. I saw this last week.
And so say what that is again. It's
the garam masala.
Garam masala.
Yeah.
See?
Got it. Okay. Now I see where you're going with that.
That's where I'm thinking.
So these classic American pumpkin pie ingredients added to your latte result in a flavor that's nostalgic, warming, and comforting. Now, here's the kicker. Flavor scientists say that these spices don't just taste good, they actually trigger memory. That's why pumpkin spice feels like fall. This scientific byproduct aligns perfectly with the sentimentality of the holiday season. Let me ask you, what does pumpkin spice, when you sip on a PSL, where does it take you back to?
A memory of my family going up to Pittsburgh area for Thanksgiving to visit my aunt, and they were boasting about these homemade pumpkin pies.
Okay.
To them, homemade meant not using a pumpkin spiced puree from a can.
Yeah. So actually using a pumpkin
and forgetting to spice it or something, because it tasted like a squash pie. It was very disappointing. And to this day, I love a good pumpkin pie that's made the right way, out of a can.
Out of a can. That's the right way.
That's the right way to do it in our household.
Okay.
So that's what I think of it. I do. It's definitely brings me right to the holidays.
Yeah.
Back east. Yeah. That sort of thing.
Good. You know, the heart of the episode is what makes a food trend. Mm-hmm. And so that's really the bigger question that I want to tackle in this episode. And I'll break it down into 4 components. All right. So the first one is the cultural resonance. So pumpkin spice ties directly to fall traditions in the United States, just like you were saying, you know, getting the road trip, going up to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
It's not a flavor. It's a season in a cup. The second one is versatility. So pumpkin spice can go into almost anything. So from a food manufacturing standpoint, it's a dried spice blend that you can put into anything, whether it's topically onto a bar. You can, make a liquid version, put it into a drink as a syrup. You can apply it, as kind of like a waterfall. I saw one of our customers was doing a pumpkin spiced popcorn. So after the popcorn's popped, they're kind of doing a waterfall of the seasoning blend onto the popcorn.
So HQO does pumpkin spice blend.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Pumpkin Spice Blend.
Yeah, we just call it Pumpkin Spice Blend.
Okay.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, we actually sell our Pumpkin Spice Blend in the spring, because that's when food manufacturing is actually happening in preparation for the fall.
You guys are like you're in Australia. Seasons are flipped.
Yeah.
So you're working on fall stuff in the spring. You're working on summer stuff in the winter.
Exactly. You got to work ahead, right? You have long lead times, international supply chains. It all takes time.
Sure.
The third component is the virality. So the Pumpkin Spice Latte wasn't just a drink. It became a social media moment. From Instagram posts, obviously there's TikTok memes, and it was really meant to be shared. The last part of it is the scarcity, right? So it's going to go away. So by making it seasonal and limited time, Starbucks created demand. What we call in the industry as an LTO, a limited time offering. So people had to have it before it disappeared. That's the formula right there. Culture, versatility, virality, and scarcity. And pumpkin spice nailed every single one of these in this food trend. And that's the reason why it's survived 20 plus years, billions of dollars on this single LTO.
There are people that swear by, and they go every day now, and they try all the pumpkin stuff.
Yeah.
Max said he went to buy all this stuff at Trader Joe's and literally just had a basket full of pumpkin spice stuff.
Yeah.
And had been like, I bet you're going to get the theme of this. And the guy was like totally unfazed.
Cashier is like, do you know how much pumpkin spice stuff I ring up every day?
Do you know how many crazy people there are that just come in with a basket and get nothing but pumpkin spice? Yeah. So they're on that side. Yeah. And then so there are people that take offense to that just because it's fun.
Yeah.
And be like, dude, that's the worst. I hate pumpkin spice.
Oh, totally. I can imagine. So I think to that point, there's other food trends that we can discuss and kind of analyze.
Yeah.
So pumpkin spice isn't the only, obviously, flavor trend that's taken off in a big way.
Yep.
I remember a couple of years ago, it was avocado toast. You remember avocado toast, especially living in Los Angeles.
Sure.
It had cultural resonance, right? Avocado toast rose alongside the wellness movement.
Yep.
In the early, 2010s, farm to table menus were becoming very popular, clean eating, and the rise of brunch culture. You had versatility. Avocado itself is obviously a very subtle ingredient. Buttery, you can use it in a lot of different ways. It's kind of like a blank canvas that chefs can play on, and it's perfect for spice play. You can spice it in a wide variety. So it became a platform for experimentation. It also had the virality of the distinct green avocado, with kind of like jewel-like toppings. You know, you can put a lot of different foods on top of it. I've seen avocado toast with, you know, at Thanksgiving you put the French's fried onions on the green bean casserole.
So
I've seen that on avocado toast.
Oh.
So you get this crunchy, you know, fried onion with the soft kind of gooey avocado on the sourdough bread. One of the more popular items that HQO sells is everything but the bagel blend.
Yeah.
Also, you know, popularized by Trader Joe's. Great name, everything but the bagel. But it's all this, it's the seasoning blend that goes on in everything bagel. So it's garlic, onion, poppy, white and black sesame seeds. That's everything but the bagel. So you can put that on avocado toast and you get a nice crunch and you get the garlic and the onion pairing very nicely.
No salt on that, huh?
Sometimes people will put a coarse salt on it.
Right.
Yeah, but it, you know, it's customer specific. So.
Yeah.
And then you have the scarcity, right? So unlike pumpkin spice, avocado toast wasn't seasonal, but early on it was tied to specialty cafes. Definitely premium pricing, right? Avocados aren't cheap. That exclusivity made it very aspirational. So the phrase $15 avocado toast became part of the lore.
Yeah.
The other big one that everybody talks about, especially our social media ladies over here, is the matcha.
Yes.
So matcha has cultural resonance, right? So matcha carried centuries of rituals from Japan into a modern wellness context. I had the versatility. It was grassy. It had the umami bitterness, and it was novel to a lot of Western palates. So it became the basis for innovation, just like avocado toast. So it was everything from matcha lattes that were dusted with cinnamon to matcha infused pastries. Even matcha was in spice rubs. So
really?
Matcha is green tea.
Yeah.
It's a green tea. Matcha paired really well with vanilla, white chocolate, and ginger. Also helped to bridge kind of that flavor gap because those were more familiar flavors compared to the matcha. And of course the virality, right? Color. People love color. They love photographing and love taking videos. That kind of goes to the social media aspect of it. So that jade color contributed to the virality, right? So it became very distinct and it can be instantly identified in drinks or in pastries, you know, that contained matcha. Now, of course, you have the scarcity. So high-grade ceremonial matcha is very costly and traditionally sourced in small batches. So cafes really leaned into this, emphasizing origin stories, you know, where in Japan did this matcha come from? Also talking about harvest dates and the artisanal sourcing. So it was turning flavor quality into a mark of insider status. So both of these trends, like pumpkin spice, succeeded because they weren't just flavors. They were experiences. They were stories. And that's the secret sauce behind any food trend.
I think people represent these products or these trends to their friends, and they represent it and they say it like, oh, I'm having a matcha. And the person's never heard of a matcha, the friend. But the way that the person says it is like, I would say I'm going to get a cup of coffee. And so then I'm like, what am I missing? So now I need to try this matcha thing. And then I saw Soel on their channel doing their matcha tastings. And everybody's going around tasting everything in town. And matcha is definitely where that's when I started seeing the trend. Is the food influencers just going cafe to cafe, place to place, doing matcha tastings. And I want to start an avocado toast one. There's something about that green color.
It's fun.
It's trendy.
It's fun. We're servicing some of the larger food manufacturers in the United States. And we have customer meetings. One of the things that we're often asked is like, so what's hot? You know, what did you guys see at the Expo West show or the Fancy Food show? Or, you know, what's hot, what's trending, what do you guys have new ingredients, et cetera, et cetera. And so these are kind of the things that I think about as I'm walking these trade shows to say, does it have the scarcity, the virality? Does it have the emotion, the memory, all that kind of tied into it? Otherwise, there's many, many, many one-hit wonders that are out there. You know, kale powder comes to mind. Remember a couple of years ago, everything was kale, and then it just had a big spike, and then it fell off.
So you were selling kale powder at some point?
We definitely did it.
Yeah,
we definitely did it. Matter of fact, we did it in Trader Joe's.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think blend. I think I know you have what's the name of the lady that does your
Dawn?
Yeah, so you have your Dawn.
Yes,
that is her job to sit around going. I think pineapple with a little bit of garlic and something, and it's a blend, and then try to call it something. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, you almost want to work backwards on it.
We've done that. Sometimes it has to do with health claims. So we have a super popular blend that's called no salt. So we sell it in a variety of different ways, but it's got 22 different herbs and spices in it, but no added salt.
Yeah.
So that's really big for companies that are trying to make a health claim, like that popcorn company I was telling you about with the pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
They are also interested in no salt because they're able to put on their packaging, no added salt, which is a big complaint when you're eating something like popcorn.
And yours is organic.
And ours are organic, of course. So you have this blend of the 22 herbs and spices that pair really well, and it provides flavor without the higher sodium content.
So the goal is to create the new blend.
Yes.
And or market it better than anybody.
Yeah.
Right? That would be a big win for the OG Spice guy.
Absolutely. And HQO, we want to partner with our customers. And so we say, hey, we can help with obviously the raw material supply, the quality side of it, the education, hey, we can source, this unique ingredient from this region of the world. And we want to partner with our customers, and they work on the virality, the marketing, all that kind of fun stuff, and then together you make something hopefully like the PSL.
Someday we'll be eating some no salt popcorn on the set while we engage in some everything but the bagels.
Yeah. Trader Joe's has their own version of no salt. It's conventional though, it's not organic. And they call it 21 seasoning salute.
I get 21 seasoning salute.
So ours has 22 ingredients.
Okay. Well, that's just, for me, my 22nd ingredient is salt.
Salt. You love salt.
So yes. I do everything but the salt, and then I put salt in it.
Thank you for calling salt an ingredient and not a spice.
It's an ingredient.
That's right. All right. So, I think there's certainly a lot of business lessons, in the episode. So as somebody who grew up in the spice business, here's what I take away from all of this. Pumpkin spice reminds us that timeless ingredients can find new life with the right story. Cinnamon and nutmeg have been traded for centuries, but packed the right way, they become a symbol of an entire season. So in our family business, we always remind ourselves trends are powerful, but authenticity is what lasts. So you can't chase every fad. But when a trend aligns with real quality and real tradition, it can become a total game changer. So pumpkin spice worked because the flavors were already part of our food history. They were familiar. Starbucks just reintroduced them in a way that felt new, fun, and of course seasonal. So as entrepreneurs, the lesson I think here is that great products need great storytelling. Spices, flavors, foods, they don't just go viral just because they taste good. They go viral because they mean something to people. And I think that's so important, is that, at HQO, we want to tell the stories of not only our growers, our farmers that we, source these materials from, but the brands that we help represent, right? I think they're two really beautiful things, and HQO is in the fortunate place to be right in the middle.
You can take pride in both sides of the chain for yourself, right?
Yeah. And you do it in a really authentic way. So it's not just, hey, I'm just trying to come up with the get rich quick scheme, and take advantage of these farmers, buy it cheap, sell it, and, get out in a couple of months. But to really focus on what's the story and what am I trying to create? I got to give a lot of credit to Starbucks, right? And on what they created with just one product. So, and doing it in a super authentic way.
Yeah, I want to find those partners too that have the brand and that have the audience and that and they find the spice or the blend or the trend that you're dishing up, and never know, man.
Yeah. So next time the barista writes your name on a pumpkin spice latte, think about what's really happening. You're experiencing a food trend built on centuries-old ingredients, cultural storytelling, and smart marketing. That's what makes a food trend a food trend. It's not just flavor, it's flavor plus feeling plus timing. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with a fellow foodie, and keep the conversation going. Thanks for joining me on the OG Spice Guy Show, where passion, science, and entrepreneurship meet to change the way the world thinks about spices. See you next time.
The OG Spice Guy Show is produced and recorded by Galaxy Media in Los Angeles, California, in association with High Quality Organics, America's leading provider of organic spices. Executive producers are Jonathan Raju and Rob Clyde. Today's episode was produced by Rob Clyde and Max Flora. It was engineered and edited by Drew Unser, assistant editor Andrew Weinstock, graphics by Michelle Esteva, web and SEO by Rebecca McDonald, and social media is provided by Noel Mercer and Sophia Sherman of Soel Social. You can DM and follow us on all platforms and socials at OG Spice Guy.